Alister's, a famous brand name in haggis, and has been making one the best frozen haggis for more than 20 years in America. Not everyone is a fan of haggis, but those who do, they know this brand name, Alister's. This famous brand name is named after the owner and chef himself, who claimed to have been born in Scotland, but his birth certificate stated he was born in New York. When he was confronted by this 10 years ago, he said, "My body was born in New York, but my soul was born in Scotland." As any other chefs in the culinary world, he guarded his secret recipe tightly. Because he only offered frozen haggis, which can be bought at the supermarkets and online stores, no one really knows how his factory actually works. Alister had 2 factories. The haggis factory serves as the kitchen to make haggis. And the second factory is the meat factory that supplied meat to the haggis factory. At the haggis factory, there were around 20 employees, including in the management office. It wasn't a big company, because the factory was highly automated and so it can be operated with very few employees. Besides, the meat were already half-processed. When the meat arrived at the factory, it was already in the minced form. All the staff had to do was put the meat in the meat mixer together with the spices, and the automation will do the rest. Alister himself supplied the meat to his haggis factory on a daily basis, assuring his staff that the company uses fresh meat every day from his own meat factory. But none of his employees have ever seen Alister's meat factory. They don't even know where it is. Alister said that was the secret of the business's success. But that secret is going to be open widely to the public when a patron of Alister's haggis was having the haggis for dinner. After a few spoonfuls, he noticed something protruding from the inside of the unopened skin. He opened it and there was something inside the haggis that horrified Alister's loyal customer. A human finger. He couldn't believe it. He thought it was a sick prank. He picked it with his fork, and it was a human finger with darkened nail. He vomited and called the police. The next day the police stormed the haggis factory, but the employees said they know nothing about meat as it was always supplied by Alister in person, and Alister just left minutes ago after dropping off the meat at the factory. The police managed to caught with on the highway and quietly followed Alister to his meat factory. When they arrived, police stormed the factory and detained Alister. Police searched the factory. It wasn't big, and there was no one there. At the site, police asked where's everybody. Alister said that he's the only one working there. In the factory, there were industry-grade meat processing equipment. The equipments were highly automated, which means Alister can work alone without anyone else's assistance. Police then found the walk-in freezer, and there they were, human frozen meat and bones. Police also found a canteen that can seat 20 people. Alister had said that no one else is working there except himself, so why was there a 20-seat canteen? There was also a huge sleeping quarter with 25 beds. And finally, there was an incinerator. When the police asked about the incinerator, Alister only replied, "For garbage." Alister was brought in for further questioning along with all of his employees. Police continue searching at both of his factories. Alister finally confessed that his meat factory was processing human meat. When the police asked who were those humans, Alister said that the meat were of illegal immigrants. Alister got his illegal immigrants from a human trafficker from across the border. Alister only told the human trafficker that he runs an employment agency, and transferring the illegal immigrants to him would smoothen out the trafficker's operation. In return, Alister got his free fresh meat. When the immigrants arrived at the meat factory, they were taken to the canteen and told to eat freely and take a rest in the sleeping quarter because the next day is going to be a long journey to the employment office across the country. But there was never such a journey. The food at the canteen were already drugged, and so the immigrants would fall asleep and won't wake up. The rest, you can guess. The incinerator is used to burn clothes and other belongings from the immigrants. Alister said he started using human meat since the start of his frozen haggis business. All of his employees were not charged. The case went very quickly in the court. Alister was sentenced to death. The judge even ordered the prosecutor to put Alister in the fast lane of the death row. It only took 5 days since Alister was sentenced in the courtroom to the day he was in the death chamber. Asked for his last words before he was electrocuted, Alister smiled and said, "Enjoy your meals."